Hello and welcome to Talk Truth. My name is Corey Huntsberger. I've got my father, Alan Huntsberger, in the studio. And Dad, we're going to start off with our foundational verse, as we always do. The earth and everything in it, the world and its inhabitants belong to the Lord. We're equal, everybody. What do you think of that? Because everything belongs to the Lord. For he laid the foundation on the seas and established it on the rivers, Psalm 24, 1 and 2. We say that verse every time, Alan, because we've got the World Economic Forum, we've got the United Nations, we've got the WHO, we've got Bill Gates, Soros. You know, the list goes on of everyone trying to take control of the planet, tell you what to do, what you can't do, what you can eat, what you can't eat, how many flights you can take a year. You know, you can't be wearing those pants and that t-shirt, son, because of the carbon, the footprint, the list goes on. And it's like, back off, everybody, the earth and everything in it, the world and all the little squirrels and the bugs and the gophers all belong to the Lord because he is the creator of it all. That's what you and I believe, right, Dad?
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that is that God also gave man freedom of choice. And that's why way back in the beginning of the garden, he said you can eat of any tree that's here except for one. So why did he say except for one? Because he didn't want to make people robots. He wanted people to choose to serve him or to choose not to serve him. And so how did he know you're going to choose him? Well, you obey him. Obeying God means you've chosen God. Disobeying God means you haven't. You've gone a different way. Mm-hmm. And with God, it's kind of like choose you this day who you will serve, whether it be God or whether it be the enemy. So it's up to you. Yeah, it's a choice. And that's the beautiful thing. There's only the only religion in the entire world that offers that kind of a choice is the Judeo-Christian religion. All others would have to say you have to do this and you have to do that. Marxism, the same thing. Everybody, And it's interesting. I was thinking about this Sean singer who in the Eastern Canada has been trying to get permits to have outdoor concerts, and they've been restricting it. He got fined in Montreal, and now Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick and all that, they're trying to pull his permit, the same thing. And it's like, so what are you afraid of? That's the question, that you need to ask these people that are trying to take their permit away. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of somebody talking about God? Is that what you're afraid of? You don't have to be afraid. You can choose it or you can not choose it. It's up to you. And that's the interesting thing. And, of course, censorship and mandates and everything else is because there's a world out there that doesn't want to give people a choice. And yet God has given us that choice. And that's the beautiful thing, even though, the world and everything in it belongs to him.
Yeah. Well, our next guest believes in choice for sure. He was part of our Talk Truth by-election candidate forum in Tofield, and we're going to bring him on right now. His name is Michael Harris. Michael, welcome back to the show. Or welcome, first time to the show. Sorry, first time.
Well, thank you for having me on here. It's honestly, I feel blessed to be invited here and to be able to speak with you guys this afternoon.
Well, we're excited to have you.
See somebody that's wearing a cowboy hat.
I would have wore it to the debate if it wasn't being hosted in a church. I'd never wear a hat into a church, man.
Alan's hero is the Lone Ranger, so that would explain a lot, Michael, you're part of the Libertarian Party of Canada. You are our first, I think, Libertarian ever we've had on a show. I'm sure a lot of people are like, what? You guys have a Libertarian on? And I'm like, yes, we do. The reason why, Michael, we decided to get into this by-election and, doing the forum and stuff is because we wanted to be an example, like how, we need to start coming to the table again. We need to start having one-on-one conversations with people again. We all have our preconceived ideas and beliefs, and we've really started to shut the door in listening to people or understanding people. Even if you agree to disagree at the end of the night, you could still learn something, well, I learn what you understand life to be like, and how we should live, and you learn a little bit from me. So we're trying to model that and bring that back. So I'm excited that you said yes to our invitation. Yep. I'm excited you're here for the show. We're going to start off quickly before we get into some political stuff. Who is Michael Harris? Tell us a little bit about you. And I'm going to ask the question you should never ask a guest. How old are you, man? Because you are like one of the youngest, I think, candidates out there right now, right?
I am 21 years old, so I'm a pretty young dude going out here doing this. In most of these debates, I'm usually the youngest person even in the room, so that's quite interesting to be there, except for people's kids sometimes. But as you guys know, my name is Michael Harris. I'm here representing the Libertarian Party of Canada. I am a political science student at the University of Calgary. I'm currently going on to my 4th year now. I plan to keep upgrading my degree up to a PhD, and through that, fight in our academia sector to hopefully bring back a little bit of common sense into our school system, because God only knows that we need it nowadays.
Awesome. Now, for those that don't know about the Libertarian Party, can you tell us a little bit about it? Like, I'm not hugely familiar with it. Can you tell us, what do you guys believe? What do you guys run on?
So our party since 1973 has advocated for the idea of individual sovereignty. The best way to explain it is that you are an adult, you're in control of your own life. You shouldn't have a nanny state or government telling you or controlling your every action and your every move. We see this quite a bit, where we see that the government is trying to control how you can go to church, how you can pay for things, how your currency is run, and your freedoms at the very end of the day. And we see our government get more and more tyrannical and more authoritarian as the years go by. And our idea is the very, very bare minimum is, if we don't form government, we want to be able to pressure our current standing government to make sure that they do not get more tyrannical as they are right now, and that people are allowed to be left alone. And that's all we want at the end of the day, is for people to be left alone.
Sounds good to me. Hey, Alan, don't you want to just be left alone? Why is that? Go ahead.
Well, I loved what you said about, the rules and regulations about farming, because, in Alberta, for example, you can't even, if you want to, let's say you want to start selling milk, and you want to buy some milk cows, and you want to start selling milk. You can't. You have to have a permit. You have to have a quota. And the problem is the quotas that are in the province are already taken up. So if you want to be a farmer and sell milk, you can't even do that. And those that do have quotas, and they have milk cows, if their cows give more than their quota, they have to throw the milk down the drain. Does that make any sense?
No, it's absolutely horrible. I've gone around through this election. I was already against supply management going into it, but honestly, my belief that supply management needs to end has been honestly very much supported throughout this election. I've talked to a lot of farmers over this election, and particularly the biggest supporters of getting rid of supply management is actually the town of Three Hills. For a majority of the people who live there are agricultural workers, and people feel that if they are not allowed to produce what they want to produce and not allowed to try to outcompete the big businesses out east, that they're going to go bankrupt. A lot of people believe that if supply management isn't removed within the next decade, they're going to have to sell their land. They're going to have to move out of this riding. And if we see this continue, I can predict right here, right now, that within a decade, we're going to see a great migration out of Alberta to the United States, so people are allowed to keep producing what they want to produce on their farms.
Go ahead, Alan. Sorry.
Well, and that's same with eggs or cattle or the whole 9 yards, right?
Well, it's all poultry. Milk's the biggest thing, because there's a lot of flat land in Battle River Crowfoot, and thousands of liters of milk gets dumped every single month from even a single 10-acre farm. So that's a bigger issue in my opinion than the eggs, but it's all poultry that's getting wasted because of this. I always like to say it's like a communist system. It's like the Gosplan. It's the government trying to control what our producers are allowed to produce at the end of the day, and it's ridiculous.
I can remember, farmers fighting the whole aspect of not being able to sell their wheat down in the United States. I mean, when the internet came in and farmers could actually get on the internet and find out what the prices were going for down in the States, they wanted to haul their grain right down to the United States. And some of them found out that that was illegal, and some farmers ended up, I think, in prison. So, here again, we want to think of our country as a country that's free, but in the long run, there's a socialism that has crept into our country over the years that has stopped us from being free.
Yeah. And it's just getting worse, honestly. Like I said, most of the people in this riding are farmers. They're ranchers. They want to be able to just trade where they want to trade. They're businessmen at the end of the day. They want to be able to trade to their neighbors. They want to be able to trade to their communities, and they want to be able to trade with the big boys down in the United States and make a profit. And if we're not letting them, well, we're not going to have any more people producing the food that we eat anymore because it's not profitable. Why would someone want to honestly go to the bank, get a loan, buy out land, and be able to start using that land to produce food for you to eat every single day? Why would you do that if you know that you're just going to bankrupt your entire family? Because that's what's going to happen. And it's also really bad that a lot of people that own this land and are producing here in this riding own farms that are almost 150 years old, and they're losing that land, ancestral land that is being thrown out just because they're told that they can't even use the land for heck's sakes. And like I said, it's just ridiculous at the end of the day. It doesn't even make sense to me why we're keeping it around.
Michael, you're
What's
going
your
around
thought?
talking. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just going to ask what your thoughts on tariffs were, Michael, and what's going on with, it seems like Canada is really going to get zapped here if we don't sit down and aren't willing to make some kind of a trade deal with the United States.
Yeah. Well, we with the Libertarian Party support free trade. At the end of the day, like I said, most of these people, they're businessmen. They want to make a profit. They want to be able to sell where they can sell. And it just so happens that we have one of the world's biggest markets right on our doorstep. And also just so happens that Montana is probably the biggest importer of our goods here in Alberta. And if we keep putting tariffs on our industries and stopping us from being able to trade across nations, well, we're going to be forced to sell within our own nation, which most people, are not might not wanting to be able to sell to everybody in this country. Might want to be able to sell if we have excess supplies, be able to sell it outwards so they can keep making more money and invest to produce more in this country. At the end of the day, if we don't have free trade, it blocks that transport of goods, which makes it harder for people to be able to conduct their businesses. It doesn't make sense to me. And at the end of the day, we're going to fight to keep free trade as long as we can.
Michael, you're going door to door talking with people in your area. What are the points that you're making that are really connecting with the people when you talk about them?
Well, I always like to joke. Most people are libertarians, they just don't know it yet. Everyone has a grievance with the federal government in some angle or another. You have people that are afraid that the government's going to take away their right to freedom of speech, their right to go to a church. There's a lot of people that are worried about the stuff that was happening in Montreal a couple of weeks ago. They're worried that they're going to have to get a permit to be able to go into church. There's a lot of people that are burdened, the small business owners that are burdened by the high federal tax rates. You have people that are afraid, like I said, with supply management, that they feel like if it's not removed within a decade, they're going to have to get out of here. There's a lot of issues that a lot of people are hurt about right now, and all of it points to the federal government. So regardless of who you are, even if you're a liberal, New Democrat, conservative in this writing, someone has a grievance with the federal government, and someone wants freedom from something.
So you feel the majority of the people that you've talked to want less government in their lives,
Oh,
right?
100%. 100%.
Have you met anyone that like sign me up for more government? I wish more government would happen.
I met a guy, supposedly he was
One
part
guy.
of the supposedly part of the Marxist-Leninist Party of Canada, and he was saying that he wants bigger government to protect us from bigger corporations, but that was about it. No, not a single other person said they want bigger government.
I wanted to ask something about you because you said you were 21. You're going toe to toe with Pierre Poilievre in some of these debates. Kudos to you, man. I mean, at 21, going toe to toe. What got you into politics and wanting to get involved into your community and making change?
Well, honestly, the government has screwed around with my family as well too. We also used to be ranchers. We had two ranches, one in Comox on my mother's side of my family, and one here in Drumheller in my father's side of our family. You can probably guess that we don't own that land anymore. We don't own it anymore. And that was because of bad policies from all levels of government, municipally, provincially, and federally, which made it so it was really hard for people to sell it internationally. It was really hard for our business to be able to sell domestically. Couldn't sell it to a supermarket anymore. I had to sell it in a farmer's market. Then it got to a point where only certain people were allowed to sell in a farmer's market. Then the provincial government came along and started subsidizing big farmers, not the smaller farmers. If you didn't own more than 100 acres, yeah, you're not getting a big check from the government at the end of the day. And obviously, federally supply management became an issue, and tariffs basically destroyed most people's lives here, both in British Columbia and Alberta. And if you go to the city of Comox today, it used to be a very, very amazing city. All farmers, all ranchers, about 20,000 people that used to live there. It's all suburbs now. I don't think there's a single family there that has that remnant of their Alberta or British Columbian heritage of being able to farm. And it's the same problem here in Drumheller as well, too. Taxes are so high that if you're a small farmer, yeah, good luck. Good luck trying to be able to run a business here in this city. My family was taken advantage of, my community was taken advantage of. And in this election, going around talking to people, I found that guess what? It's not just my family's been screwed over. It's pretty much everybody in this riding that's been screwed over. So at the end of the day, even if I don't win this election, I want to make sure that people's voices are amplified, that they are sick and tired of the federal government, provincial government, and municipal governments from taking advantage of them and stealing every cent out of their pockets.
Wow. Alan?
Well,
Just look
the,
at you.
The problem is I agree that, freedom, if I want to sell milk, I should be able to sell. If I want to sell chickens, I should be able to sell chickens. And, if another farmer down the block wants to do the same thing, he shouldn't be protected because of quota. He should have to sell because he's a good manager and he can present his product, better than I can in order for him to do that. There's competition. Competition is good for us. Competition is good for kids in school. Competition is good, all over the place. So
The government's not wanting that competition. They want to keep supporting one person over the vast majority of small business owners that live in this riding.
I know. I mean, it just to me, it's not fair and needs to be changed. And the problem is that you get, the way I look at it, Michael, is that the government is now paying members of parliament so much money that there could be people that are just running to go for that big salary because they couldn't make that big salary anywhere else. And then once you start making that big salary, you now all of a sudden become quiet and you don't want to make any waves. Otherwise, that big salary disappears. So look at what happened to the NDP leader. He wanted to hang on and work along with
$2 million
Mr. Trudeau
pension
so that his pension would be guaranteed. I mean, good grief. There it was in living color for all of Canada to see that man was only interested in his own pocketbook, interested in the country, nor did he care about the people in his own riding. He cared about himself. And that's the scenario that we live with.
Well, that's why I believe it's immoral for politicians to be taking a big salary like they are. Like, I mean, what the average wage for the starting MP is like about $250,000 a year. And that's not even including party salary or if they get in a cabinet position or become a prime minister. I think it's completely immoral. That's why the last policy on my website is that I am not running for a wage. I'm not running for a pension. At the very bare minimum, if we do agree that, if I need to be compensated, I think the politician should get paid as the average median income of a Canadian, because them getting paid almost 4 times the average Canadian is completely unfair. And the fact that they're getting $2 million pensions while the average oil worker has to scrape together, their own money to form a pension is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. If I'm forced to take a wage, in my opinion, I've been told that apparently I don't get a choice, then I want to donate all the money back to the constituency. And a lot of people tell me, how can you do this, Michael? How can you put thousands of hours into being a member of parliament and not take a wage? Well, In my opinion, it's about advocacy. It's about supporting your community. And I've done this throughout my entire life. I've put thousands of hours into my own organizations. I put thousands of hours into a group called Students for Liberty, advocating for people to fight back against the federal government. And I haven't seen a cent from either of my time working with these organizations. And to me, it's absolutely no different to advocate for the people of my community, the people that I care about so dearly, bring their concerns to light and not receive any money at the end of the day. I would do that for free gladly. Even if it came money out of my own pocket, which a little bit has in this election, then I'll keep doing it.
Good for you.
How old is the Libertarian Party of Canada?
So I did say this in the beginning, but the party has been around since 1973. We've had obviously some smaller caucuses within the Conservative Party, I think since probably about the 40s. But the party's been around since 1973. We've kept to our beliefs since then. We haven't changed. We keep, as like I say, straight as an arrow. We don't differ. We don't change. We're here to fight the government at the end of the day. If you're an individual that doesn't want the government to take advantage of you, we're going to be here to fight for you, even if you don't like us.
Has a Libertarian ever won a seat in Parliament? I've asked the same question to everybody else, just so you know.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I haven't. I wish that we did. We have gone very close sometimes. Tim Moen was probably one of our better leaders who got us, I believe, in some seats almost to second place. But at the end of the day, even if we don't win or don't form government, our main objective is to pressure the big boys, whether it be Pierre Poilievre coming on the stages for this election, to actually advocate for the people and actually, have a little bit. They talks about common sense all the time. Well, sometimes I believe he needs to get a little bit of common sense himself to realize what's truly hurting the people of this province. And I think at the end of the day, even if we don't form government, we got to keep the pressure on. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that. And I'd say, like, there's some times where this guy, Pierre Poilievre, we've had some private rooms before and after the debates. He likes to debate me. I know that's not public knowledge, and I know he's probably gonna hate on me for bringing this to light, but we have debates in the back room sometimes because he claims that he is also a libertarian, and yet he, at the end of the day, doesn't support true libertarian policies because he wants a bigger government as well too. So what can we do? What can we do? We don't have seats. Well, like I said, we're gonna keep on pressuring them until we can't no more.
I had someone send in the question, and I wanted to ask you about it because you brought them up. They said this by-election was called specifically to allow the Conservative leader back into Parliament. How do you feel about being part of what some see as a strategical political maneuver? I thought that was an interesting question. What do you think about all this? Because really, that's kind of why we're here, right? To get his seat back?
Well, I'd say a lot of people supported Damien. I mean, he got voted in with, 82% of the vote. A lot of people wanted him to become a representative because he's lived in this riding. He's been here for quite some time. Pierre Poilievre hasn't. He's a big big dog in Ottawa. He's been in Ontario longer than he's been in Alberta. So a lot of people were concerned, and rightfully so, that he doesn't even know what the concerns are of the people here. He's bringing in conservative Ontario positions and trying to run that in an Alberta election. And a lot of people are also a little bit skeptical whether or not Damien did this in his own free will. We have a guy, I think, in Saskatchewan that is now resigning her position from being a member of parliament. And a lot of people are feeling, why is he not running there? Whereas an actual person who's retiring, he can actually get into that area and get known. But yet he's forcing someone out. And I think the worst part about it is I think he would get a lot more props if he wanted to actually continue to be the MP of Battle River Crowfoot. He has said multiple times that he will let, in 3 years, Damien run again for this riding. So he's not here for the long term. He doesn't want to be my MP for long term. He's just using this election to prop himself up federally for his campaign to become the Prime Minister of Canada, not to be my MP. And I feel at the end of the day, we're not going to get the best representation because of that. Because at the bare minimum, when we had Damien, at least, he lived here. He cared about the people. I hope so, at least. But now we have someone who I don't think he cares too less about whether or not people are starving here in this riding or losing their land. And that's what I'm concerned about.
We've got.
I agree with you 100% because I could not believe that here is a candidate who got a 80% vote in the district in order to represent the people. And then along comes this leader and says, "Step aside, son. I need your seat." It's like, Wait a minute. No, the people elected me, and the only way that I'm leaving is if the people would allow me to leave, right? So
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Very good. Very good.
I know he hates that question when you always bring up, so you've lost your seat and you don't have a seat when you start the question that way. He does not like that at all. We got like 60 seconds, Michael. I just wanted to give you like freedom so people get to know you a little better. Is there anything you want to leave with and say?
Well, just generally, at the end of the day, like I said, the government on all angles has been trying to suppress people. It tries to muzzle us and tries to take as much as it can from us, whether it be the dollars in our pocket or the freedoms in our lives. And we as libertarians want to fight back against that as best as we can, whether at the end of the day running in elections, pressuring politicians, or actually winning a seat someday. We want to make sure that politicians are held accountable and that you retain the freedoms that are given to you by God. And we want to make sure that at the end of the day, you don't go broke because the federal government thinks that it can better allocate your own money for you. And we're going to be out here every single day, and I'm out here every single day, door knocking and talking to my community to make sure that that happens.
Well said. All right. Well, thank you, Michael. If anyone wants to know what you have to say about other, questions and issues, you can go and watch the forum that you answered all those questions on. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. We know how much it takes. It takes guts to stand in front of a bunch of strangers and answer questions being fired at you.
All right.
You did a really good job, man.
Guys.
We were surprised. You did a great job. I thought you were amazing. So, all right. Thanks for being here. We'll have you back.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
Here we are. Got our nose into political business where it shouldn't be. Some people would say your nose shouldn't be in the political business, but it is. Unfortunately, but we're modeling, Alan, what we're supposed to do, right? Love our neighbors, be kind to one another, get to know one another, understand things. I think I said it yesterday, a lot of Canadians are on a pilot. We believe things. We don't even know why we believe it. And my thing is, if you're going to believe into something, understand why you believe it. And that's the same what we're talking about with God, right? In relationship with God.
Right. Absolutely. And, he has some good points and some points that hopefully the other candidates will listen.
You want to help support our mission, keep this kind of conversation and truth on the air, you can go to our website, gotalktruth.com, click on donate. Many different ways to give digitally that way. If you'd like to do it through the mail, you can. You can make your gift payable to Heritage Christian Ministries Association and send it to 246 Stewart Green Southwest, Suite 3260, Calgary, Alberta, T3H3C8. And if you'd like prayer, you can get prayer anytime. You can call toll-free 1-800-915-0056 in Canada. And Alan, I guess we would encourage everyone that's in the Battle River, Crowfoot area to vote, right? Get out and vote.
Right. Absolutely.
God's doing some amazing things. We don't know what it is, but his plan will be revealed soon. And it's exciting to be a part of it. Thanks, everyone. We're out of time. We'll see you later.
Love you.